make it work. Sometimes whatever it is, you gotta make it work. Oh, sometimes you are down, but we can get through it. I was going back again to the New Year's because after sitting with Johanna and I, we're over at Mary's house and we had a little fun time. We had to leave early to get up to go to the Rose Parade, rocking it. We get this. I love that. I know it's like cold and it's chilly, but that's okay because we make black eyed peas and take them down there, and and everybody's got food, so we're just hanging out and having a great time. There'll be pictures on Facebook later today. So make it work, make it work. When I came up with the idea, I was like, sometimes it's a little challenging to make it work. So you kind of tap it. If that doesn't work, you slap it a little harder. And if that doesn't work, you just bring out the hammer. But that doesn't always work, right? That's not the best way to make things work. It's the better way to make things work is to actually use the tools, right? Use the right tools. My dad was always telling me that. There's a right tool for every job, son. And then he'd say, you want a saw? You think you can saw? Here, take the saw. And I'd take the saw and I'd be, nothing would ever happen. He says, use the saw. Let the saw cut. I was like, what is he talking about? Use the saw. I'm using the saw, and this wood won't cut. But then I realized what he was talking about. Eventually, I got it. If you just let the saw go through the wood, the weight of the saw at a nice little easy motion, it'll just cut right through that wood, nice and smooth, And then you get to, it's the right tool. That's how you make it work. Although, it didn't always work with me when it came to holding the light. That always kind of puzzled me because you're holding the light for him who's working, right? And he's like, I can't see. Well, I could see. What does he need to see for? Well, because he's got the tool in his hand. And that's very interesting around making it work, that sometimes when we go around trying to make it work, it may not appear to us that it's working. But if we are the light, if we shine our light on a situation, then the other person can see so they can use their tools to make it work. Like, wow, kind of took me to a new level around making it work. It's not always seen by you when you make it work. And it's a lot better than hitting it with a hammer. The other thing about making it work, it reminded me of when I was switched over from PC to Apple. I was slow on the transition. Now I am totally sold. I am drinking Apple Kool-Aid big time. I got an Apple phone, I got an iPad. I don't have an Apple Watch because that's stupid, but... Ouch! That one kicked. Ouch! That one bit me. Is it cool? Does it work? Will you give me a remedial after the service to find out what it does? Oh, is it like Dick Tracy? We used to play Dick Tracy as kids. Did you? Right? Now you actually can do Dick Tracy. That's so. If I don't have my phone, I could call you right now, and you could talk to me from there. All right, I'm sorry, Apple, what I said about the Apple Watch. I guess I need to drink some more Kool-Aid. Where was I? That's a tangent I didn't want to even get. Oh, yeah, I know where it was. It was Make It Work. The guys in the little Mini Coopers with the Make It Work guys for a long time. They would come to your house. And I was so slow that I didn't want to actually go over to the PC. I thought the PC was the right tool for me, right? So I had this guy actually split my Mac, and so half of it was PC and half of it was Apple. I didn't know you could do that. So I had two computers for a long time. Eventually, I did switch over completely, and I'm really happy that I did. And the crazy thing about this Make It Work guy is they gave him these Mini Coopers, these little fast zip-around cars, but then they put like GPS controllers in them so they could tell when the guys were speeding. That's no fun. The boss is watching. Big brother watching you out, So all this about making it work goes to CSL this year. How many of you know, have been reading the stuff that you know that the CSL Center for Spiritual Living has a theme for the year? Do you know what the theme is for the year? A world that works for everyone. And I thought, my God, Centers for Spiritual Living, individualized expressions of the divine, having a single theme for the entire year, and they expect all the churches to participate in this? Oh, it gave me an idea. This is what I think this is really about. Can we hit it? Whoops. Go back. Heads up. It'll happen. There we go.
This man right here is my great-grandfather. He's the first cat herder in our family.
Herding cats. Don't let anybody tell you it's easy.
Anybody can herd cattle. Holding together 10,000 half-wild short hairs, well, that's another thing altogether.
Being a cat herder is probably about the toughest thing I think I've ever done.
I got this one this morning, right here, and if you look at his face, it's just ripped to shreds, you know?
You see the movies, you hear the stories, I'm living a dream. Not everyone can do what we do.
I wouldn't do nothing else.
It ain't an easy job, but when you bring a herd into town and you ain't lost a one of them, ain't a feeling like it in the world.
Huh? Is that great? That's what I think this is all about. How are they going to get all these 400 churches to do the same thing every week? I mean, seriously, they give you a weekly theme that we're all supposed to do, and this is the best we're going to do here at CSL Theme. We're doing The World That Works for Everyone is the opening scene. That's the opening theme, so that's one we're doing today, sort of, kind of, maybe a little bit. Because I'm a cat. And I don't want to be herded. Cool cat. Thank you. But we are going to participate. Our kids are already involved in it. You remember the letter that they made, the artwork that the kids made, and they're sending that around the world. It's on its way to Ukraine right now. It's going to Hawaii. We're sending it to Shanghai, to China. And the idea is for each person that receives this, each center that receives it will sign it and then send it on to somebody else. So we're participating in that way, in the Word That Works for Everyone. And then we've got the weekly e-blast that we send out. So we'll be putting quotes and reading ideas to kind of carry the theme. And from time to time, I'll speak about it from up here. We are going to participate in the World That Works for Everyone because we do believe in that. And it's something that's gone along for a long time. I mean, Dr. Holmes began this idea in 1927 when he wrote the We Believe Statement, which is the Declaration of Principles. And in the We Believe Statement, he has one that says, we believe that the ultimate goal of life, I don't know if we're stuck, if we can get back there. We believe that the ultimate goal of life is the complete emancipation from all discord of every nature, and that it is sure to be attained by all. We believe the ultimate goal of life. Now that's really interesting because I was thinking about this for a while. I mean, I guess that's what you guys want me to do is think about this stuff, so I've been thinking about it all week. And when I thought about this idea about the ultimate goal, it kind of, see, a goal is a pre-known path to something. When you have a goal, you pretty much, when the football game is happening, they don't have to worry about what the goal is. They get across the goal line and they score the points. The goal is set out. You know what it is. I mean, so much so in hockey, they named a player after it. They know what the goal is. He knows he's the goalie. He's going to protect the goal. So that's the goal was pre-known and set. So life understands this ultimate goal. Life is so much bigger than you and I. So I think the best that we can do in this regard is to hold a vision for this goal. You see, because a vision is something that you do by faith. It's something that it believes in a process, but it's something that's sort of like our teaching, open at the top. And it allows a larger idea to fold into our lives on how to make this world that works for everyone. It involves a little bit of trust. See, the vision also keeps us wider open because if we single ourselves out for a goal, we may not be able to create a world that works for everyone because what works for you might not work for somebody else. I mean, already, look at what happened to me with the Apple Watch. Right? It obviously is working for at least 2 people in the room. But if we go to a vision, to vidiago, with the root word, it means to see. And if we can see, and we already have talked about this many times, to see with our mind, to see with our light, to see with our consciousness, if we can vision and see a larger picture, we can allow this world that works for everyone. Kenny Ulmer over at the Faith Bible Central Church, what an incredible speaker this guy is. He says that vision is the ability to peer into the not yet, to see beyond the now. It's a lovely idea. to peer into the not yet, to see beyond the now. If you're stuck on a goal, you're looking at what's happening already. But if you're going into a vision, you can see something larger. And when we're talking about a world that works for everyone, I think we're trying to get into that vision space, into that larger place. Now, the other thing that goes around for me about the world that works for everyone is I believe in the perfection of the universe. I believe in the perfection of God. And so it makes me question, is it that the world is not working for everyone, or that we're not working it in the right way? Because if the universe is infinitely intelligent and the world is a creation of the universe, the world is obviously already working okay it's already there. It's something that we need to do personally to allow that to happen, which is, again, why I want to get past the goal. Life has the goal of making the ultimate suffering, emancipation from the suffering. Life's already got that covered. But we have something else we need to work on. We need to work on that goal by visioning a larger idea. You see, because we live in an abundant universe. All the resources that are necessary are already there. You cannot count the grains of sand on the beach. You know this. Or like Stephen Wright, you can have the largest shell collection in the world. You just have to do what he does. Keep it on the local beaches. You see? we got that. We have that ability already. Or what I like to say is, you can count the seeds in an orange, but you can't count the oranges in a seed. See, we live in an abundant universe. Everything is already here. Everything is already necessary for us to have this world that works for everyone. So what we need to do is have the vision to see how to reveal it, to let our light so shine that we can shine a light so that others can see, even though we may not be able to see what they're doing. Even though, go back to the dad thing, even though we may not be able to see, if we can be that light, if we can model the kind of behavior, then we can help people make that great discovery for themselves that Dr. Holmes is so famous to talk about. You see, because the universe has created it in a perfect way, and it hasn't left us in a space of not being able to do the work. Go back to the Science of Mind textbook. In the early pages of the book, I think page 25, 26, something like that, it says, to suppose that the creative intelligence of the universe would create a man in bondage and leave him would be to dishonor the creative power which we call God. See, there is this creative intelligence that I truly believe in, that I have seen work in my life to make it work for me. When I thought there was no solution, I close my eyes and I wait and I listen. And, and boom, inspiration flows. So I don't have to stay in bondage. And I don't want to dishonor that power that we call God by thinking that I have to do it all on my own, by staying in a limited place, by not applying the laws of the universe, because we have this presence that is this creative loving power. We have this presence, this intelligence, but we also have this process called law. And if we can instigate or investigate the law, and we can utilize the law in the proper way, then we can demonstrate this world that works for everyone. We can work toward it by knowing that we have the power, we have what it takes to get to the place that we need to get to. You know, Jim talked a little bit about it last week, and we see it in the news, and it doesn't always seem that the world is working, but what did he say that it really blew me away? And it's right. There's less war now than there's ever been before. There's less violence in the world than there's ever been before. Crime down in New York City. I mean, golly gee, stuff is really looking good. But because we have this myopic vision, because we stay stuck on goals, because we look at measuring things and comparing things and getting focused on our fears and the things that hurt us, we get to a place where we don't see that we don't have to be in bondage, that we don't vision the way to use our creative power to move beyond, that we stay stuck in a limited consciousness that says, been there, done that, can't do it any different way, or this is the way we've always done it, or all those kind of phrases that need to go out the door when the year goes away like it just did, and open up to something new. See, we think sometimes this stuff is difficult when it really isn't that hard. Back when I was working, I started in weather. Here's my weather reference for the day. Oh, by the way, do you know it's going to rain a lot this week? Yay! I'm so excited. I can't wait. I got plastic on my roof. I'm ready to go. had a neighbor come by my house the other day, and I'm up on the roof fixing it, and he's like, wow, you're prepping for El Nino? That's a lot of rain. I said, I just got a leak in my roof, dude. I don't want to spend $5,000 to get the roof redone, so I'm just going to put some plastic up here. It's not El Nino. It doesn't matter if it's a drizzle. It's just, but I'm set. I'm ready to go. I'm ready for some rain. But when I started doing weather, it was paper maps. That's all we had was paper maps. And then we got that magnetic stick-em thing, which was really cool. It was really nice. And we thought we were really techie then. And then one day a box arrived, and it was from Weather Central up in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And I opened up this box, and there was a computer in the box and instructions on how to put it together. Computers used to come that way, huh, Rob? Where you had to like build it. It was so cool. So I'm like building this computer. So as a result of that, starting at the ground floor, as the weather computers got more advanced, I was already there. I already kind of went to elementary school. My building blocks, my erector set was putting together a weather computer. So I kind of understood that. So as the programs got more and more intense, and young kids came in wanting to be weather people, because for some reason, they didn't think you had to go to school to become a meteorologist. They figured you just had to go to a TV station and stand in front of a screen and tell the weather. So I'm telling these guys how to run the computers. And I would always say, when I was working on something that I felt was kind of difficult, but I didn't want to freak them out, I'd say, oh, this is so easy. Just do it like this. And it turned out to be easy. Why? Because I primed the pump by saying it ain't that hard. It's really easy. And life is very much like that. It ain't that hard. It's really easy. And when it feels like it's hard, just go into the gap space and allow something to appear for you. And broaden your imagination. See, we work around with too small of imaginations, you know. Sometimes we have too small of a God. If you got a big problem, get a bigger God. And you can do that because God is infinite. So you can make it as big as you want it to be, you see. That's why we're talking about a vision and not a goal. If you're on a goal, you don't need a big God. Just all you do is get the football across through those little uprights. Boom, score. But with a vision, you might need a bigger God so you can catch a larger idea and use this wonderful imagination that you have. Use that creative power that you have and allow the entire world to get out of bondage. You see, that's what's up, why we see so much what appears to be a world not working for everyone. But it's an appearance. It's an illusion. And it's an illusion based on the fact that we haven't done our work, that we haven't stepped up in a new and involved way. You see? Because God's wasting absolutely nothing. Nothing. Even when we see things that don't feel right for us, that's not a waste. That's an opportunity waiting for us, you see. Every person, every experience, every challenge, every triumph is leading us to a new discovery, to an expansion of our consciousness, to our higher idea, leading us to victory. So we can overcome this. Really simple. Each and every one of us. David Seabury says, the question of living life well is not one of wisdom only, but of daring. So once we get the download, once we go into the gap space and you get the information, the next step is to be brave enough to step off into it. My friend Johnny Jackson would say, fear is courage that has said its prayers. Daring is wisdom that has said its prayers. Step into the daring space of your life and do that thing that you didn't think you could do. Because if it's an idea in your mind, you can do it. You really have the power to do that. And that's where living life well steps up. That's where we get to be the person, the experience, the challenge, the triumph that leads to victory. You know, this is what we're all about. This is where we want to go. It's not that hard. Just to tell yourself again, it's not that hard. It's like building a weather computer out of the box. And even though some of the parts come from Japan and they say rotate screw instead of turn screw, you can figure it out. It works. Yeah, they translate it kind of funny. So the solution to making it work, the solution to having this better world that we're going to spend a year talking about, but after, you know, that's okay. They picked a year with an extra day in it because they knew that we needed more time. But it will give us time to raise our vibration, you know. Obviously, we're vibrating at just a little bit too low a level to get people to see that this world is actually working for everyone. So we have the opportunity to raise our vibration by thinking a little more creatively around our lives. Rumi has a wonderful quote here that I kept reading it over and over, and I kept thinking, I want to use this, I want to use this. Where is this coming from? Why am I feeling that I need to use this quote? What is it all about? Check it out. He says, God will keep breaking your heart over and over and over and over and over again until it stays open. Wow. And then I had to sit with it, and I thought, okay, here's what's happening. I walk down the street and I see a guy whose toes are hanging out of his shoes because they're so worn out. Or I hear about a family of 5 people that Johanna and I know who've got 5 kids that are living in their car, you know. And I see Rose and Gilbert living in a parking lot at the corner of 6th and Vermont, and she's pregnant and doesn't have health care. And I think, man, my heart is breaking over and over and over and over. And finally it opened up. So I called health services, and I found out that they have temporary homes for people that are on the street that are pregnant. So they got into a home, and he got into a food program. And I went into my closet, and I'm so anal. I keep my shoe boxes, and I keep my boxes in shoes, and I put pictures on the boxes so that I can see which box of shoes go in. I know. But my closet is neat. So I went, oh, wow, I don't wear those. So I dropped them at the guy when he was asleep because I didn't want him to know I was giving him the shoes. I just wanted my heart to stay open. This is how we make the world work for everyone. We model the kind of behavior we want to see in the world. It's little bitty steps. That's all it takes. We don't have to go out and create the next food pantry. I mean, if you do, that's great. I'd love that. I'd love that if somebody here did that. But it might just be taking the leftovers of a meal to some guy. I used to do that years ago. I would take my food when I'd go to a restaurant. I'd take half of it with me, and I'd see some person, and I would stop and I'd give them the food. And I'd met some incredible people. This guy was he was a professor at University of Indiana, and he didn't get tenure, and then he lost his job because he wasn't tenured, and then he started traveling by train and thumbing and stuff to California, and he got here and he couldn't get a job in California, and then one thing after another, and he lost his ID. And if you're homeless and you lose your ID, you're in big trouble, because you know what they need to do to get you another ID? Send it to you. Well, you're homeless. Where do you go, you know? So it just spiraled him down. I would have never known that if I hadn't walked up to him and said, hey, dude, are you hungry? Would you like this? Just little bitty steps that each of us can take can change a person's life. And in that one little change, we have begun the process of realizing the world that works for everyone. Dr. Holmes says, the evolution of man's consciousness brings with it the acquisition of new powers and higher possibilities. Every time you do one of those little bitty things, boom, your vibrational level goes up that much higher. You open yourself up to more ideas, to new pieces of wisdom, to a bigger advancement, and you begin to see how you can do even more than you have already done. You raise yourself into the higher possibilities, becoming actualities in the life that we live. And then everybody benefits from the little work that you do. So I want to encourage you, be a bat. Tangent. Saw a great movie the other night called Chef. You ever seen that? Is that awesome? And I was so excited because they went to Austin and they went over the bridge. Congress Avenue Bridge in Austin, Texas has the largest urban bat colony in America. And they needed to rebuild the bridge, and the city, I was part of it, went nuts. Don't tear down the bridge. So what they did is they rebuilt the bridge with new bat caves underneath it. So it's still, and they built the bridge in pieces so the bat colony didn't have to move out Wasn't that great? So it's still the largest bat colony. And they went over that bridge in the Chef movie, and I was like, yeah, I know that bridge. I used to get ice. It was, anyway. Be a bat. That's where this was. Be a bat. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. The B. Believe in yourself. Accept your oneness with the divine. See, after you believe in yourself, accept the oneness, the unification that you have with Spirit, that you are God, and that empowers you to have a deeper sense of trust. The T. Believe, accept, and trust. Trust the spiritual laws. And there's some beautiful spiritual laws we can use. I mean, the first one is the law of good. The universe is primed for goodness. There's the law of attraction, the law of circulation, the law of mental equivalence. We're ending the transformation class, the foundational class. We'll be having another class coming up pretty soon. But if you were in that class, you would find out about these laws. But since I invited you to the discovery class, you can come to that and get a little primer about these laws. As we become the bats, as we believe, accept, and trust in the spiritual laws, if we know our oneness with the divine, we step off into these higher possibilities and we begin to make it work. We begin to see it work. We begin to realize that it is working simply by modeling the kind of behavior that we want to see in the world, step by step, and do it in a way where you feel good inside, so you don't have to tell anybody about it. Then it becomes the light that the other person gets to see, even though you're not seeing what it is that they're doing. So if you're on board, 2016, we make it work step by step. And at the end of the year, we'll realize, through the consciousness of our entire movement, a world that works for everyone. And so it is. Cat herding. Time for our affirmation. Let's do it one more time, shall we? Here we go. There is a great something within me that knows how to make it work, and I consciously tap into it for the good of all. Post it, tweet it, share it, put it on Facebook. Let somebody see it. Take a picture of it. All righty. Thank you, Andy. Were you just playing? Okay. That's good, because I'm going to pray. I'm feeling some prayer time coming on. All right. Ooh. Linda's here. Welcome back. Greg, where are you? Greg's here. Welcome back. We got some healing happening here in the room. Alex is home. Welcome back. That's beautiful. All right. So we got some demonstrations happening, and we also have work still to be done. So if you're in that space of work, if you have someone that you want to do a prayer for, you want to realize their wholeness, their perfection, their truth, their right employment, their perfect harmony in relationship, perfect place to live, whatever it is, if you have those ideas, bring them to the forefront right now of your consciousness. Realize that there is a power for good in the universe. That power for good we are now going to use. Here we go. There is one life. That life is God's life. That life is my life, your life, and the life of all that is. How glorious it is to know this truth and to speak the word on behalf of each and every one of us, knowing that we hear, we see, we trust, we accept, and we know. Without a doubt, a full and deep conviction in the power of affirmative word. So we take a positive direction right here, and we set an intention through our consciousness, and in so doing, we lay the seed of possibility into a fertile field, and we know that it burst forth into the fulfillment of an actual idea, a manifestation, a demonstration of health, of wholeness, of perfection, of completion, of satisfaction, of joy and harmony, and above all else, good. I declare it so. This is the process of the divine at work, and it's easy and it's simple. both easy and simple, for it simply involves knowing and trusting. And when you think you don't trust enough, pray for the trust. When you think you don't have faith enough, pray for the faith. And allow yourself to steep in it, to sit in it and know. And so from all this, from all these words, I let it go now with gratitude into a perfect law that was entertained by the words, but was feeling the tonality and the intentionality behind the words. And that's what it takes off and delivers into the laws. It says yes to that intention and brings it forth into the lives of each of those that we hold in our hearts and dear in our minds. So join me if you're feeling it. Here we go. And so it is. Amen.